So in 1967, we had this comedy spoofing the 1920s, the Roaring Twenties, in fact, and it starred Julie Andrews, James Fox, and Mary Tyler Moore, and also Carol Channing. It's a musical, so lots of songs are sung, and these songs were arranged and conducted by Andre Preview. Millie Dilmount, played by Julie Andrews, becomes a stenographer to find a rich man to marry, which is seen as a modern thing to do for a woman. These are modern times. Thoroughly Modern Millie. It's called that for a reason. Dorothy Brown, played by Mary Tyler Moore, a young Mary Tyler Moore, is an innocent single girl who arrives to stay in the same hotel. Millie intends to snare her boss, Trevor Graydon, but also meets Jimmy Smith, who she really likes, but doesn't regard as a target for marriage. Now, Jimmy takes Millie and Dorothy off to a posh party hosted by the very rich and very fun Muzzy Van Hosmeer, played by Carol Channing, and she really steals the whole show. She's whereas Julie Andrews is fairly staid and not very high in dynamic. Carol Channing certainly is. Anyway, Millie aspired to be a modern. The 1920s were, after all, as I say, modern times. And after World War I, things had changed, a lot of things, especially the way people think. After World War I, for example, demographic trends changed drastically. Divorce rates increased. Women filling positions during the war had set the scene for the liberation and equalisation of women in the workplace after the war, especially by moving to cities to take up office jobs. Women's fashions were to trend towards boyish, flat figures with short hair, as if to compete with men on equal terms. Cigarettes were in, the flapper was in. And it was a time of initial economic recovery, the shift of industry from supplying the military to producing goods for civilians. Art Deco was all the rage. The Dada movement was a surreal response to the trauma of war. De Stijl and Mondrian were in Europe. Cars were everywhere. Most people had experienced films and radio. The public felt that modern technology could make everything desired possible, and traditions could be broken from. Modernism thought that everything should run like a glorious steam engine, which gave rise to some of the most disastrous management theories, such as Taylorism, to cope with the growing levels of industrialisation, but totally ignored the humans that were to be involved. Thank goodness those outdated theories are long gone, only to accidentally return during the austerity years following the 2008 financial crisis. Anyway, Thoroughly Modern Millie is quite an optimistic film. It's happy, it's very stylish, obviously. It bears no resemblance to reality at all. It's a musical, it's supposed to be fictional. It's, as I say, exceedingly stylish. And it's a happy-making film, I think. But I think it also points the way to what's going to happen post-pandemic. I think there will be phenomenal economic recovery and discoveries and good times ahead. Okay, 1967, Thoroughly Modern Millie. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Have a very good week, everyone.